Welcome to another Ask Hippo. It has been a while since I did the last Ask Hippo. I used to do them like every 2 or 3 weeks. It was honestly, it's completely random. I don't really have like a set time of when I do these. It's just whenever I feel like it, to be honest. And on my Twitter page, as per usual, a few days ago, I said ask me some questions. It's now been like 3 or 4 days since I asked that in the tweet, and you guys have flooded me with questions. It's mad. I actually remember when I used to do this back in the day, and I would hardly get any questions. I'd get 3 or 4. So thank you for everyone who sent me their questions. Unfortunately, I haven't got time to go through every single one, but if you do still want them answered, please leave it down in the comment section down below, and I'll get around to it when I next start answering questions, because I usually do it in bulk. I usually answer all the comments in bulk, so when I next get around to it, I'll go ahead and answer your question if you still want it answered. But anyway, with that being said, let's go ahead and get into the main bulk of questions. I'll say we've got a good like 7 or 8 questions to answer today, so without further ado, so the first question comes from King Unoriginal, and his question is, are you planning any trips or meetups? Now this is an interesting question, because he said meetups, and this is a common misconception a lot of people have about me anyway, and channels my size, at least this is what I used to think when, you know, before I kind of hit 10k, I was like, whoa, he's famous. It's really not that way. In terms of like open lobbies and stuff, if I were to tweet out I'm doing an open lobby now, I would struggle to get anyone to come in. Unless it was pre-planned and there was planning behind it, I'd probably maybe get 1 or 2 people if I'm lucky. So to do it in real life meetup, unless it was planned and it was pre-planned and we'd go for it, that's even harder. I think the one place where I would do a meetup is later this year at EGX. If you don't know what EGX is, it's basically a huge UK gaming thing where people go to do stuff. And I'd probably end up going with Theo, Jay, you know, basically all the British people that you know of already. I'm planning on going to Japfest in April, so if any of you guys are in the UK and you're going to Japfest, we're doing that. And then in terms of any trips, just like holidays and stuff, I've got some pretty interesting in real life car stuff planned. My dad is getting a new car, and I'm going to vlog that towards the end of the week, and in addition to that, we're also going to go and do the kind of Horizon 2 route down the French and Italian border, so I'm going to be vlogging that in the summer. I've got a lot of plans for just varied content on the channel. That's always one thing I want to do, is keep things fresh, keep things exciting, and that's some ways that I will be doing that. But it would be cool. It would be cool if this time next year I could organize a meetup like that, or just organize open lobbies just like that, because to have that ability would be just mad to me. But I hope I answered your question all right. The next question comes from Dean, and he says, why do you love dabbing so much? We're in 2017. Like, if you're still dabbing, you might as well go and hang yourself. That's all I have to say. The next question comes from Jimmy Cancer, and his question is, do you think Need for Speed will launch on the Nintendo Switch? Fucking hope so, because I really want a Switch. When I first announced it, I was like, oh, the specs are shit, this, that, and the other. And ever since I've actually seen gameplay and how it actually works, I need one in my life. The ability to play AAA titles on the go is something which I dreamt of as a kid. Imagine playing Need for Speed on an aeroplane. How mad would that be? I want one really bad, and I've got a feeling Nintendo are really doing well with the third-party support. I've got a gut feeling that they've got EA on board for sure, because they mentioned that at one of the launch events they had. I've just got a feeling that overall the Nintendo Switch is going to be a really strong console. Really want one myself, and I beg Need for Speed is going to be on there, especially at launch. The next question comes from Italia, and his question is, what is your favourite game to play right now? It's a bit of an odd one, because we're going through a bit of a dry streak at the moment with games. I'm not sure if you guys can tell, but especially with the channel and racing games, I'm trying to mix a lot of things up because of the lack of games we have. I'd say the one game which I'm playing the most recently has been Assetto Corsa. I've been playing it with my wheel, and I love it. I don't know what it is. There's just something with that game, playing it with a wheel and just drifting on custom maps. It's just fun. I'm also trying to get back into Fallout 4, and that was always a game which I never really sank enough time into, and something I've been trying to get more and more into recently, especially because I was lucky enough to be sent a graphics card by a subscriber, which was mad. Now I can really run Fallout 4 on high settings, and it's like something I really want to get back into. Prior to that, I used to play a lot of Rainbow Six. Rainbow Six is one of those things I kind of need to sit down and play it, and recently with uni deadlines and whatnot, I've been quite busy, so I haven't had a chance to do that. But Rainbow Six is a game I'm really enjoying at the moment, and I'm always playing Need for Speed. You know, I'm always playing at least one game from the series, so I guess you can add that as well. And Horizon 1. funnily enough. Every now and then when I can't be asked to go on Assetto Corsa, I'll just boot up my Xbox One, backwards compatibility, and play Horizon 1. Because it is really fun just to go on a cruise on that game still, you know, in 2017. I can have fun on Horizon 1, which is pretty mad if you think about it, but definitely those games. The next question comes from Louis Evans, and his question is, to suck? Or to not suck? Pretty obvious one for me, really. You've always got to give it a good old suck. I've said this before in videos. If this is the first video you've watched on the channel, welcome. The next question comes from, and his question is, if you had the money to buy any phone right now, what would it be? So this is an interesting one, because I'm quite a techie. I do like tech, you know, sports, cars, things I'm interested in, so it kind of just goes under, really. At the moment, I have a OnePlus 3. This is just a normal OnePlus 3, it's not the T. I bought it back last year in June. But if I had money to get the Google Pixel XL, I really would. Part of me wants to go back to iOS to try it, because I haven't tried iOS in so long. But in my heart of hearts, I've been an Android person ever since I've switched, and to have a Pixel XL would be amazing. But honestly, my OnePlus, it's done me so well, a bit ridiculous. You get $700 phone performance for half the price. That is madness. I don't know how they've managed to do it, but honestly, one of the best phones I've ever owned, period. The next question comes from NoNamer12345, and his question is, when is your custom-made high-quality t-shirt coming for sale? So if you don't know what he's talking about, he's talking about this. Essentially, it was a thing. It was just a thing I did. It's complicated. It's a long story. But this leads me on to merch. You sold out, you fucking cunt. So this kind of feeds into what I was saying before. I don't think I'm awfully big of a channel, to be honest. That's not how I perceive myself. But merch is always something I kind of wanted to get into. The thought of selling stickers is something that I've always wanted to do. Not even just to make money off it, but to have just one for myself, just to have a Hippo sticker on my computer or on my future car or whatever. That's a really cool prospect for me. My question to you guys is, realistically, if I were to make stickers for a fair price, would you buy one? It's just something I want to hear you guys, you know, from. I just want to hear if you would buy one or not. Obviously, a lot of people are going to say yes, then who would actually never buy one. If you wouldn't buy one, just say. It really doesn't bother me, because I'm not really that deep into development of it. But, yeah, let me know what you think of the whole idea of merch. And finally, the last question comes from The Racer You Wanna Be. And his question is, how hard is it to juggle daily uploading in uni? What did you do to make it easier for yourself? So this was one thing I wanted to answer. I feel like I've probably done it before, but it's a bit different now. We're in crunch time for uni. This is kind of when everyone's putting in their main graft, at least in my course. And it is very hard to do this. I mentioned this in the quality commentary I made before. You know, it's not so much the time which I need to make YouTube videos. It's the length of them, really, because I can find the time to make a video, but it's making like a decently like 10-minute one. And obviously when you go a few days without having a 10-minute video, it's like, ooh, I kind of want to make a long video. It's not really something that I really struggle with, because if I usually just stay awake until I get a video done. I get like 4 hours of sleep per night, and I'd say a large majority of that is probably down to YouTube or, you know, uni projects. I don't get much sleep. When I kind of understand now when you see a lot of people talking about, oh, I don't get sleep to be productive, this, that, and the other, because I'm in the exact same boat. I just stay awake and make YouTube videos. That's literally it. One thing I do try to do is when I'm not as busy, I try to make more videos, so I give myself a little cushion. At the moment, I've got no videos planned to go up, but you know, if I've got a few days spare, what I'll do is I'll bulk upload and have a little cushion, because that just makes everything a whole lot easier. Besides that, I just make sure that I'm in my flat for a specific time, and then for those 4 hours, I am recording, or thinking about YouTube, or replying to comments, or doing something productive. I'm not just sitting there, just twiddling my thumbs, or twiddling my penis. It's one of those things, you know, if you have a passion for it, and you really want to do it, you'll make time to do it. You know, if you really enjoy doing something, and you want it that bad, you'll do it. It's just, you'll find a way. You know, that's one thing with YouTube. I've always found a way, whether I've been at school, university, or just in the summer. I've always found a way to get around it. And you will notice sometimes videos aren't going to be as, you know, refined and as finished as they were in the summer, because obviously I had more time in the summer. But I do like to think, especially recently, I've given it a fucking good effort, and videos have been still to of that quality that I try to get to. It's been at my personal bar of quality. I will quite gladly scrap a video if I do not think it's good enough, and I've done that many times, especially in the last year. I feel like in the last year I've been a lot more mean on myself in terms of, the quality of stuff, but quality is always something which I strive to get. I mean, time is fine. I cannot go to bed and have 4 hours sleep and be fine the next morning, but it's having that bar, and for sure, I like to think I'm still hitting my own personal bar from my own expectations. And that's it. Those were all the questions. I'm not sure how long this video is going to be. But with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to go ahead and hit the like, subscribe. I will see you guys in the next one. You guys have an awesome day. Stay safe and peace.